Hey guys, JWar here with another video. So today we're going to look at the Juiced Crimson Temple farm I did. We'll break down all the profit, the cost, everything like we normally do. We'll see how much we made. Was it worth it? Was it not? And yeah, let's get into it. Alright guys, so we're just going to run one map here real quick for a little map showcase so you guys can see what this looks like. Alright, let's get in here to our Crimson Temple. Like that. But alright, so that's one map there with a Kinetic Blast Magic Find build in our Crimson Temple Juice strat. Alright guys, so let's talk a little bit about the strategy we ran here. We had quad scarabs, like I said. We got a lot of maps left here. I was originally planning on doing 100 maps for this farm, but it was just taking a little bit too long. But I'm still going through them actually. But let's just talk about what we rolled on them, what we used, the general strategy. We used corrupted items. Now, I did not start using corrupted items right away, actually. I was going with Abyss, Sextant, and I think that was it. Yeah, that was the only Sextant I changed. And I knew this was a good one, right? But I was worried, you know, if we get a big item, it could get corrupted, right? That can always happen. Either corrupted Mage Blood or something with 2 flasks. It's really bad, right? So I was like, I don't want to run it. But then, I don't know, I just noticed the currency per hour and the drops just aren't as good without it. And it really adds... if you're not running something like a Tom's chest to see those really valuable identified items on the ground, having those corrupted items drop with, you know, +1 all spell skill gems on wands and scepters that people can use for recombinating is really good, actually. So this adds more value, a lot more value than just the 6 links dropping with it. So I switched that up pretty early, and it made a really huge difference. And it's beyond everybody knows is really expensive. We ran that. That's about 90C per sextant. This enraged strongbox is about, I think it's like 35C. And then this is another cheap one here. We just added 2 more strongboxes. I think that one's only like 5C. But yeah, we swapped out the Abyss for the corrupted items, and things were going a lot better after that. So moving along here, let's go over the scarabs. Nothing too much to talk about here. We just did polished divination scarabs. Swapped one of the scarabs we started out with. I was running polished harbinger. Like, you know what? Let's go for the uniques. Let's swap it out, and they're about the same cost. Each one of these scarabs is probably about around 10C. And then we went Gilded Abyss just to pack in the monster count there, because we took Abyss nodes on the tree. And then we also went with polished ambush scarabs, which kind of mandatory. The other two you can kind of swap around a little bit, right? The Abyss and the Reliquary scarab for the uniques. Isn't so much necessary. You could swap that out, but I found that this was really good, actually. Moving along, we'll just talk about the maps real quick. We rolled 60% Delirious and pretty much every map above 80% quantity. We did take the time to beastcraft add an additional mod to a rare map on the ones that were low, which if you're going to do this level of juice, I would also recommend. Just look up, I think it's the Crab and Cobra combination of beasts that will give you the add an additional modifier to a rare map beastcraft, which you're going to want to do for your maps because you're going to want to roll them all until you get beyond. You don't want to keep rolling to get beyond and good quant, right? So you make the quant better by adding beastcrafts to them instead of having to, you know, re-roll them over and over again until you get good quant and beyond, because that's just, it's too time consuming and you're probably going to spend more currency doing that than you would just buying beastcrafts, where I think they go for about 35C, maybe 45C. A little bit expensive, but they're worth it. You kind of have to do it if you're investing this level into your maps, right? You can't invest all this other stuff and then roll a, you know, run a 60% quant map. It's just not worth it. Okay guys, so let's talk about the Atlas passive tree real quick that we used. So we got this way to start out with. We grabbed the one additional strong box here because we're running the double strong box Sexterts. So that's going to help us out a lot. So we path back here. This goes with Alva missions, which is really nice. We did block something here. You don't have to block anything. I just blocked Sacred Grove because I knew I didn't really want to run them with the juice strat. So I blocked that. You could also block Expedition if you want to block something else. I think everything else is pretty much okay. Expedition's actually not bad to run into either, though. Those are completely optional. Okay, and then we go over here, and we path this way to get the quant of inside of incursions. And then we grab our Beyond nodes here. All three of the Beyond clusters. Go over here, we want the whole quant ring. We want all the increased effective modifiers around the top of the diamond here. And then we took all the strongbox nodes, took these altar nodes, and these altar nodes. And we did take a couple Harbinger clusters here. Try to add a little more Harbinger League encounters in our map. And then the more important ones, and then we also took that one there. And you don't need many Abyss mods to run Abyss, really you just want these to get the pack size and the increased number of monsters, and then these two give you the increased number of monsters. And those alone will give you 130% increased monsters inside your Abysses, and that is really good. So then we took the Alva nodes up here to make our incursions a little bit better. 33% chance for all monsters to be at least magic. And yeah, and then the other big one we ran here is the Shaping the Valleys for our pack size, because we were running Fortune Favors the Brave on our map device. So, and then just the last one I guess to go over here would be rare monsters have one additional modifier. This helps you get rolling with your headhunter buffs a lot better. So yeah, that's basically the Atlas passive tree we use. This is really skill point intensive, though, if you want to set this one up. A few things you could take out if you have less skill points is you could probably take out this one additional strong box. You could also take out the blocking anything there, and the only other one I'd take out is maybe you could take out like a Harbinger cluster, one of these. Other than that, it's pretty tough to get rid of anything. It kind of hurts to get rid of a lot of the rest of the stuff we have in there. So yeah, that's the Atlas passive tree, and let's go over what we got. Alright, so let's take a little bit of a look at what we got here in Excellence, guys. So we did 30 maps here, and we've got 116 Exalts worth of items so far, which is really good, right? So, but a lot of that is coming from, if we scroll down here and just kind of take a look at all the drops, a lot of that is coming from our Squire Shield, almost half of that, right? So really, we got about probably 70, right? Squire's going for about 45x, so we probably really got about 70x worth of drops in about 30 maps, and that's with the maps cost about an Exalt, but we'll get into the breakdown of profit and cost later in the spreadsheet. But let's just highlight some of the drops here, a lot of what our money's coming from. So we got a lot of Divine Orbs here. Actually, a huge portion of our profit is coming from Divine Orbs, more than we got from Raw Exalts. So, and we got 10 Raw Exalts there in 30 maps, which I think is pretty average, right? One every 3 maps or so seems to be pretty normal. So we got 4 mirror cards here, the mirror shard cards, which are worth about 2x, so those are real nice. A lot of stack decks, a lot of Awakened Sextants, and a lot of Crimson Temple maps, right? So pretty good there. Got some simulacrums. You actually get a surprising amount of simulacrums from this, which, you know, 40C each, pretty good, pretty good. I don't actually pick up any simulacrum splinters, solo splinters, so that's all from picking up stacks from killing bosses and stuff like that. So pretty good number of simulacrum splinters there, and then just a lot of basic currency. Nothing else. Pretty easily liquidated stuff. A lot of just really bubblegum currency and stuff like that adding to the profit there. So no big items boosting it, just kind of maps and currency for a lot of the rest of the profit there. And that's taking us all the way up to about 19,000 there. A couple Conquer maps, little Call the Brotherhood here, a Maloney's Mechanism. Yeah. So you can see kind of some of the stuff you get there doing this kind of farm. Obviously we got the big drop, the Squire drop, which is pretty lucky, right? But that's what you get doing the juice stuff. You're gonna get a chance at getting those big drops. That's the advantage, right? The big advantage of doing juice strats over just Alch and Go, right? Alch and Go, you're gonna get a lot of consistent currency, low investment, little to no investment, but you don't get those big drops nearly as often as when you do the juice stuff. So the currency we made was 116 Exalts. That includes the Squire. I'm just gonna take the Squire out and we're down to 71.67, right? So what was our cost? Well, we did 30 maps. The Scarabs were 45 C per map. The Deliorbs were 30 C per map. Sextants 130 C. And rolling the map probably about 10 C, right? So that puts us at 215 C per map, or 1.2x per map. So that's a cost about 36x for all 30 maps, right? Now let's look at our time spent per map. So clocking the maps, it took about 10 minutes to do the map, or it took about 7 minutes to actually kill everything in the map, and then you have to go back and loot. So let's say about 10 minutes per map, right? So that's 300 minutes for 30 maps, and that's about 5 hours. So I'm trying to figure out our profit per hour here. So our revenue minus our cost, and we get 35.67 profit, right? So that puts us at about 7.1 if we take that divided by 5, right, out of 5 hours. So 7.1x per hour. But when we looked at excellence, it wasn't calculating our Sentinel drops, which were quite sizable, because we get an expedition rewards drop in there that's 1x by itself, and I was getting those semi-frequently, probably about once an hour, right? Probably once about every 3-4 maps or so. Maybe more than that, right? But this is 6 maps an hour, right? So, and then the rare items, and with the corrupted item sextant, this the rare items were really good, actually. So I think we're gonna be selling a lot of those for, you know, 100C, maybe an Exalt. We got some nice fractured items. We get some really good items. If we take the average of those two, this is just an estimate, right? I would say we're at probably 11x per hour. And then let's just say you do this for an extended period of time, right? I got a little bit lucky and got the Squire drop, but if you do this for hundreds of maps, you're probably going to get a really big drop, and it's probably going to, you know, you factor that into your Exalts per hour, and you're probably going to be at somewhere between 12 to 15x per hour. So you get an Apothecary card. There's a reason why we're doing Crimson Temple, right? Drops the Apothecary card, Headhunter, Mageblood, Squire. It's going to boost your Exalts per hour, and if you're doing real juiced strategies, you're going to hit something big eventually, right? That's kind of the whole point. So I would say at the end of the day, we're probably around 12 to 15x an hour, and this was based upon 30 maps as the sample size, but I did more than that. I just didn't record the drops from all of them. I was trying to, actually, but I kind of got I kind of lost track of some of the inventory, and I said, okay, we'll just do the 30 maps that I know I have the record for. So that's going to be it for us, guys. Yeah, about 12 to 15x an hour with our juiced Crimson Temple farming strategy. Pretty good. I think, you know, everybody knew it was going to be going into this, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching.